you hear me?
Yeah, fantastic. So the court's order asking that status quo remain seems to have also been flouted by Governor Simlai Fubara. Remember that he actually afterwards presented budget to 4 members of the State Assembly, appointed commissioners, and he sworn in 23 caretaker chairmen. Why have there been that flagrant disobedience to court orders? He said, Mr. Fred said, that's a lesser, let me just put it, lesser disobedience or lesser offense, compared to, what you're seeing the other party in this warring situation has done. So should there be any lesser offense, or offense should be treated as offense and then, be meted out as so?
Yes, let me clearly take us through some memory parts. And let me thank Fred for his fears. He's a lawyer. I'm an accountant, well-qualified accountant. Unfortunately, the lawyers has not helped us well in this country. And even the judges, in the way they couch their judgment, sometimes it creates more problem than it is supposed to solve. I remember in the days of Obasanjo versus Tinubu, when the Supreme Court used the word incoherent, incoherent or something, and Obasanjo lashed on that word and still deny Lagos of their what they call it, of their allocation, because of that word. So sometimes the judges will help us by not using such ambiguous words that now becomes subject to interpretation. My brother, there has not been any. I have not seen or clearly seen any breach on the side of the governor, with due respect, because there was a court order, a valid court order restraining, first recognizing, that was in December, recognizing Edison here as the speaker when there was a defection. There was a court order in Rivers State. There was also a court order in Abuja that was recognizing Martin Samehule. Now, those ones are subject to some of appeal. Now, there is a new court order from Okojombo. In fact, that one was so encompassing that it forbids the governor, forbids the chief judge, and so other people from receiving or entering into any kind of discussion or communication with Martin Samehule and his group. And the court clearly stated that Martin Samehule and his group are not members of the Rivers State Assembly. That is the case that is before the appeal court. That case, that's right, which they wanted them to vacate that injunction, and the court, in its preliminary ruling, refused to grant those prayers of stopping Okojombo from performing as speaker, stopping it's a whole lot of things. I'm sure Fred will have it. So there was no disobedience to court order on the part of the government of the governor, because the court said status quo remains. And what is the status quo? They refused to vacate. The court refused to vacate the order of the Rivers State High Court in stopping Martin Samehule and co. from becoming legislators. Now, until the case is disposed of. So, and then the tenure of this local government, this has elapsed. There cannot be a vacuum, just like every other state does. We have about 20 states today, according to records, that is operating on this caretaker means. Caretaker means hold in brief. Hold in brief. And also don't forget, there's also the time we always have acting governors, hold in brief, till we're able to sort it out. And when people are saying, like Fred said, when people are saying that why didn't similarly conduct election, the same problem that this was created, that would have conducted election in a very chaotic manner. And then at the end of the day, yes, we know that even if you conduct today, PDP will win all the seats. But how could you have conducted election in a chaotic manner when the man has been on battle? And the man said, I've always been my own man just for 4 months. So we must give this guy a bit of slack. And look, we are all Rivers people. I am so disturbed as a proud son of Rivers State, although, like I said, I've been loaned to Lagos in a long while, but I still have my root and everything in Rivers State. And I still feel stronger about Rivers State. We don't need to go through this part because Rivers State has produced some of the best brain in this country. We've had some of the best, let's say, some of the best legacies. Where did State University start, if not from Rivers State? Where did FM station start, if not from Rivers State? Where did State agricultural programs start, if not from Rivers State? So many things. We have some of the best lawyers, some of the best judges. Some of the best things we have in this country come from Rivers State. So we can't allow the state to be dragged into the mud as it is being, as it's happening today. There has not been, and then like I said, the judges should help us in making their pronouncements, not to be too Latin in nature, because I mean, Latin is the next, I mean, Fred, I'm sure Fred can correct me. There is too much Latin. And some of us, we don't know Latin, we only know English and Yoruba and a Jaw language. So they should help us by being as clear. And like Fred said, these cases should be decided expeditiously so that the people of Rivers State can get their life back and they can continue their peaceful nature and continue to develop their states.
Let me come back to the studio with